So Vera, you told me performance is important to you, so I'd like to explain a few of the performance features of this new Highlander. Well, first of all, this Highlander has VVTI, which stands for Variable Valve Timing with Intelligence. Simply makes your engine breathe easier. And it's kind of like the difference between running on a treadmill with a cold and running on a treadmill without a cold. And it does it by controlling what we call the valve overlap. It has three great benefits: lower emissions, better fuel economy, and more power. This vehicle also produces 266 horsepower, so plenty of get up and go. But what's really interesting about this is what we've done inside of the engine. First of all, it has a timing chain instead of a timing belt, which means it will last the life of the engine. Now, why that's important, Vera, is because in the end it's going to save you a lot of money, because if you have a timing belt, you're always having to redo it around 96 to 100,000 kilometers, and it's usually several $100s, so we don't have to do that anymore. You want to save some money and a performance feature, something else in the engine. We have Iridium tip spark plugs. Now, Iridium tip spark plugs are good up to 193,000 kilometers. So instead of doing your spark plugs every 60 or 70,000, we don't have to do them to 193 now. Also, we have something called direct ignition, DIS. Why that's important and how that's going to help you in performance is the fact that we have an individual coil over each cylinder. So that gives us precise firing, less misfires. Direct ignition is really great for your vehicle. We also have in here super long life coolant, good up to 160,000 kilometers, so you don't have to do your coolant as often with it in the maintenance schedule. That's going to save you money. Performance-wise, it's going to keep your engine a lot cooler a lot longer. Obviously, a cooler engine is a better performing engine.
Right.
Some other performance features I'd like to tell you about in this vehicle. This vehicle also has a snow button when we get inside. Essentially what the snow button does is under slippery conditions, if your vehicle starts to spin, if you pre-push the snow button, it actually starts the vehicle out in what's called second gear. So that reduces the spinning wheel. So it's a really wonderful feature. The vehicle also comes with hill assist control. Here's how hill assist control works. Have you ever been on a hill, you're stopped on a hill, and then all of a sudden a car comes up right behind you, and you're looking in your mirror, looking back, and you're going, too close, right? Because when you start, you roll back. Well, what Toyota's designed is something really interesting called hill ascent control. How it works is, in that situation, you're stopped on a hill, someone pulls up right behind you, you're going to firmly press on the brake. You'll hear an audible sound, and you'll see a flashing light on the dash, and that's actually going to hold the brakes for 2 seconds so you can take your foot off of the brake, right, and onto the gas and be able to drive away without slipping backwards. As well as we also have DAC in this, which is downhill assist control. And here's how this works. If you are going down a steep hill, your brain has to think about a lot of things. One, steering, one, speed, brake, everything. So in order to make it easier, what Toyota has done is we have this thing called DAC. By pushing this button, downhill assist control, and by putting it in lower gear, we actually can take our foot off the brake and off of the gas, and we just have to worry about steering. So in a controlled fashion, the vehicle will go all the way down the hill all by itself.
So only control like this?
Only have to worry about steering. These are some of the wonderful features that we have in Toyota. A couple other things I'd like to tell you about too. We also have something called ECT, which stands for Electronically Controlled Transmission. See, a transmission has to be smart and intuitive, and Toyota has made that. Here's how it's intuitive. If you're driving by yourself, the transmission is going to shift at different shift points. But if you have a load, like a lot of people in the vehicle, or it's hot outside, or you require extra speed out of the vehicle, the transmission has to adapt to whatever variables are present. So it will look at the load, it will look at the temperature, and it will look at how you want to drive the vehicle, and it will change those shift points to make it most efficient and to make it most fuel efficient. We also have something in this particular vehicle called electronically controlled throttle system with intelligence. Simply, it's drive-by-wire. Kind of like planes are today, you know, have fly-by-wire, there's no cables anymore. So when you actually push the accelerator, it's just a sensor in there. It's a more efficient way of getting the vehicle, the engine, to respond directly, very quickly, kind of like turning a light switch on, versus having a cable system that will require maintenance, etc. Again, these are just some of the features that make this vehicle perform really well. It's great Toyota ingenuity. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.